Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today Mimi and I are going to spend some time here in the shade garden at the entrance to the nursery. Man, this bed has been a labor of love, and she is starting to come into her own and just be absolutely beautiful. So we are going to keep it simple, sweetie, doing a little bit of maintenance. Mimi has already gotten started with me. She is doing a little bit of weeding. We're gonna do a little bit of pruning, very light pruning, just a little shaping of some shrubs. And then we're gonna be adding caladiums. We got two different kinds of caladiums because that's really all this bed needs. So let's take a look at this space. Of course, I mean, we keep it simple. We just call this the sign bed because it has, of course, the sign to the nursery, and this is the entrance to the nursery and the house and all the things. This definitely has turned into a shade garden because of these big, beautiful, massive hardwood trees. All of these are hardwoods. They are deciduous. So in the wintertime, it gets some sun, but of course that's winter sun, and it's nice and gentle. You can see how well everybody is developing. We'll just start down here on this end with the dogwood. This is the Golden Shadows dogwood. It's the pagoda dogwood from Proven Winners. This is the perfect example, my friends, of the first year it sleeps, then it creeps, and then it leaps, because she has leapt and let me tell you, she's spectacular. So as you can see, this dogwood is gonna have more of like horizontal branching than really like a vertical structure. Yes, it goes up. In fact, it has had massive new growth just this season. I don't know if you can, I know it's new, one, because I know the tree, but two, because see how nice and light, nice and light green this stem is. So all of that is new growth. She is shooting up beautiful variegated foliage on it. Look at this new foliage. It has that twinge of kind of that red and that orange in it. She bloomed for the first time this year. Love this tree. So we're very happy with how well she is doing and taking up some space, which is great. We've got some weigelas in here. We've got the macrophylla hydrangeas that are just, my gosh, they are doing great as well. So full disclosure, because you know I'm all about keeping it real around here, I do not remember what these hydrangeas are. I know these three are the exact same. Proven Winners sent them to us. They were the tiniest little 1 gallons. I was trying to go back to the video and figure out what they are. I'm gonna try to figure out which ones they are so that way you know. I'll put it up on the screen, because this yet another example of sleep, creep, leap. They have leapt, and they are beautiful. I know they're a Let's Dance of the series, so they're gonna be a reblooming. But yeah, so all three of these are the same, beautiful. We've got the hostas. These two are Sum and Substance. And then that massive one, same kind. But she's just over here and is loving life and is massive, as is the blue one. And again, Mom and I were talking, and I was like, oh, I don't remember which one she is. This is why I need to do plant tags. So again, I will try to find that and put that up there, because when I say she's every bit of she's almost probably 5 feet wide, which for us here in the South, in the heat and the humidity, that is kind of rare. So she is massive and beautiful. The astilbes, we've got the lady in red ferns that the poor hosta is about taking over. That's all right. We've got acubas, loropetalums. This is the Everillo grass. Let's come over here. Now, what we're going to be doing is Mimi is weeding right now, and then we're going to come in and do very light pruning on our weigelas and the euonymus. So when I say a light pruning, basically what we're going to do is we're going to shape them. So where we have maybe some like long limbs, we're just going to come in and take it off just a little bit, shaping it up. See, I've got this kind of this rogue limb coming out. Let's bring it back in, tuck it in a little bit. Same thing with this baby, right? So she's got lots of height right here, just shaping it up, make nice and beautiful. Same thing with the euonymus, because my weigelas, they're this particular variety is going to be more for the foliage, and so it's already bloomed, so we can go ahead and shape it up nice now. So your Weigelas typically will bloom on that old growth, so let's shape them, give them a little prune if you need to after they bloom. So that's what we're going to do there. And then we've got 2 more of the hydrangeas. Again, I'll have to look and find the names, y'all, because they are unbelievable. Just fabulous. Look how massive these heads are. Beautiful, nice, gorgeous, healthy foliage on it. And then look at this baby. Oh my gosh. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, it's got a little spots on it. It's okay. We're going to focus on this. Look at that. All on the same bloom. You've got purples and pinks and mauves. Beautiful. And then these are just the good old classic Annabelles. They're not Incredibles. They are the original Annabelle hydrangeas. And yeah, so they are beautiful. Even though we just got a ton of rain, they're nice and strong right now. So yay for that. And then we have the oak leaf hydrangea back here. This is Alice. And so Alice is, Mom and I had to replace her, I guess maybe about a year ago. So she is doing quite well. And then look at this lemony lace elderberry. Good grief. Did not think that she was going to do really anything, but has come into her own quite nicely. So then a Japanese maple here, and then we've got a Fatsia. Is that a Fatsia, Mama? Yes. Yes, thank you. Name just went out my brain. So there you go. So that kind of gives you an overview of what's already here. So everything is doing great. So what we're going to do is I'm adding 2 different kinds of caladiums. One I have used many times before. Love this one. The other one is brand new to me, and I just could not pass it up. So the one I could not pass up is called Explosion. And Explosion is a shade caladium. Look at the colors on this thing. Are they not exquisite? Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, these are from the Heart to Heart series from Proven Winners. Yeah, but Explosion with that X on it, so 15 to 20 inches tall. Caladiums are annuals. They'll only be perennials, and if you live in the deep south of Florida in the heat and the humidity, but just beautiful. So we're keeping it simple, and we're doing a group of 3 here. Then this is the White Wonder, the one that I have done many times before. So it is doing really well. And so it brings that nice kind of that pop of white for us right there. So that's why we're going to add it right here where the between those hydrangeas and behind the Weigelas. And so they will be right there. They will grow together and be absolutely gorgeous. Brings in that kind of that nice pop of white. Once we prune those Weigelas, they'll kind of peek out from behind here. And then of course I like to repeat things. So then we have a group of 3 White Wonders right here, and then 3 Explosions right there. And y'all, that's it. That is literally all we're going to add to this garden because she's big and beautiful already. So we're just adding in those little accents. If we have time and if the weather allows, we might pop over to on the other side of the fence and add a couple of caladiums over there on that side as well in that woodland garden. But yes, just a morning here with Mimi in the shade garden. My friends, working with Mimi is always a treat, and we are done. So we got caladiums in the ground, and we did pop over to the other woodland garden. So we're gonna do just a really quick little tour of like where we put those caladiums. But y'all, I'm telling you, this garden, it has been a labor of love for years, and the work is paying off because, oh my goodness, this is so nice to only come in here and in this portion of the bed to put 12 annuals. So for us, 12 annuals in a flower bed as a display garden, that's pretty like a ridiculously low number because, of course, we're a garden center. This is the entrance. People come for inspiration. We have the signature garden. We have all these different kind of display gardens. And to have a bed chock full of shrubs and perennials and only have the room really to put 12 annuals, it makes my heart happy. And of course, it makes me happy to see all of this hard work paying off and plants thriving, because there have been plenty of plants in here that have not done well. We have lost many plants in here, and so it is trial and error. I tell you all the time, gardening is nothing but one big experiment, y'all. So if you lose a plant, don't get discouraged. Either try it again, do something different, or try a different plant. And so having these caladiums in here, it just looks so natural. Like it's just that little accent. I don't need anything flashy. I just want something, just a little bit of pop, a little something that's different. It's going to be low, mounded, completely different leaf structure than anything else that's in here, and they're going to get nice and full. I was telling Mama as we were doing this, I was like, man, we placed these guys like perfectly, because as I was drilling the hole, I used the 5-inch, even though these are 8-inch containers, and I just did the little, as Greg says, the hula hoop wiggle dance, and the holes were plenty big enough. But they were all like right beside a drip irrigation, but they weren't like on top of it. So it worked out great, because there is drip in this flower bed. I will say for years we didn't have it, and it struggled because of all the tree roots and everything. So it is on drip irrigation. I think I have run it one time this year so far. We've been blessed with tons of great rain. The temperatures haven't really gone up, so I haven't had to run it. So when I say I have drip irrigation, don't think I'm running it like 3 times a day every day. Oh, no, 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 no. I would kill my plants so fast. So basically in the heat of the summer, with no rain, I would probably run this at most twice a week for maybe like 30 minutes. And that gives that nice rich color and the moisture to the plants that they need. So yeah, it's been really fun to see how this garden develops. So we have, of course, that white wonder right there. And then coming along again in front of these hydrangeas, and then the explosion. Just having those 2 different kind of colors right there, they will get nice and mounded. Like basically you're not gonna see the individual clumps of caladiums, especially like by the end of the season. It'll be like one big, huge mass of that caladium together. So really fun. Also, I was telling Mimi, I said when I was trying to look back at other videos to figure out what those hydrangeas were, I went back to like some of like the very, very early videos where we just planted this, and oh my gosh, y'all, it is so funny to see how we planted it then, because it was mostly annuals, and a lot of them were like sun-loving annuals. And now here we are in almost like complete and total shade with shrubs and perennials. So it's really neat to see how this garden has changed and morphed over the years. But like Mama said, she said, do you think you really had, it was a shady back then? And I was like, no, I don't, because if you look, like, of course, I mean, it's obvious, duh, the trees grow, right? So the trees are growing, giving us nice, good shade. The only time we get really sun is maybe at the end of the day, because it sets over here. So if it shoots in, you'll get a little bit there. But man, loving how everything is looking in this garden. And then over here, just on the other side of the fence, can we say that ruby slippers? Look at this, that oak leaf hydrangea. There are 4 of them in there, and man, they are absolutely magnificent and gorgeous. The Ruby Slippers is looking absolutely phenomenal, and she is such a fun oak leaf hydrangea. More on the petite side for an oak leaf, right? But you still get those gorgeous, huge, massive blooms. And then we love oak leaves because, of course, they give you great fall color. So you will get these beautiful shades of burgundy and maroon. Just do really, really well here. This bed is also on irrigation, so it has a drip line in there as well. And these actually do get some good, intense, hot afternoon sun for just a short amount of time, but do really well there. And so what we put here is the clowning around caladium. And so clowning around is going to be a really fun, more of a shade-loving caladium. And the texture on this thing is amazing. It's very, very ruffled. It has, that, of course, that green and the cream and the pink or the red, however you want to look at it, but just tons of texture to it. And it gets huge. Like the leaves on this get massive. So even though this does get some sun in the afternoon, they still should do really, really well here because they're not going to be in the sun all day long. So that's fun. And then like Mimi says, she's like, Jenny, you need to add some more of the Everillo grass. So I'm thinking we might grab 2 or 3 and kind of bring this down just a little bit more because my gosh, these eucharas, they overwintered here. They are doing great. That's probably wildberry. Those 2 are phenomenal. And then to bring in that Everillo and bring it in a little bit closer next to that purple, lovely. And then over here we did, I put my tags. Where did I put my tags? Well, I had tags. Oh shoot, Burning Heart. Yes, Burning Heart. There we go. Burning Heart is so cool. I've never done this one in a container, in the landscape, or really even at all. But this is a sun or shade one. But look at that. Is that not just a fun color? It looks like it has freckles to it. Nice kind of that nice deep red, really gorgeous color to it. And so there's 6 of these here in a mass planting. And so again, nice and full, completely different color. I think it's really pretty with the Love Story. So that's Shadowland Love Story. And I believe this is Diamond Lake because we've got Diamond Lakes through here. So having that nice color contrast is great. So that's when you're thinking about, your shade garden. Maybe you don't always have flowers, right? Because as a general whole, shade gardens tend to have less flowers than sun gardens do. But that does not mean that they are not amazing and awesome having all the different colors. You can have a colorful garden without having flowers. It is possible. And so this just kind of proves that, yes, the hostas are blooming right now. That's not the point. Think about the foliage on the on those hostas. So the color, the texture, the leaf structure, all of that works really well with the caladiums, the hostas. You've got hellebores back here. You've got cast iron plants, a euchara, that acanthus, that's the white water. Just all sorts of fun things in here. And this too, this garden is a very relatively new garden. It's maybe this is year 3, I want to say, something like that. So it's still a baby garden, but growing and filling in quite nicely. So moral of the story, have fun in the garden. If you're in the hot, humid South like I am, and you're not growing caladiums, add caladiums to your garden, people. I'm telling you, it is the easiest plant. It's the showiest plant. You're going to love it. You're going to be wanting to add more and more caladiums to your garden as the years go on because they're so stinking easy. They're beautiful. They just keep on going. So add those caladiums and then just have fun and be able to adapt and be bendable and stretchable in your garden because things change, right? Conditions change, plants die, you go with the flow. But the hard work does pay off and it will be all worth it. As always, if you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.